the high seas, Pisces. Cast my line, now they're biting. Yeah, rocky coasts and lighthouses. What she knows now, I doubt it. Talk to me nice. I think your confusion starts with street lights.
Hi guys. I've missed you so much. I have not been able to record in so long, but I tell you what, I busted my ass and I got all the videos recorded for July. So I know it's really late. And I know you guys probably didn't expect to hear from me in July, but let me tell you, July 2017, a year ago, is when I started recording monthly videos, and the Capricorn in me just could not allow me to just not record for July. Like, you know, a part of me felt like I should just jump right to August, but no way. Like, Cancer season happened, okay? July happened, and I know we want to just leave July in July, and I know it's very much close to August, but I will be doing August videos very fucking soon. But no, July, I felt so much energy as an empath for the month of July, you know. So definitely wanted to record messages for you guys. So for those of you who are led to watch this video, you know, I always believe that time doesn't exist to tarot, you know, so there could be messages in these videos for you guys, and you never know. So if you're led to watch the July videos, even though it's very close to August, thank you so much, because I worked very hard at these messages, and I just think that, you know, I just care about all you guys. I care about all my viewers and my subscribers, so I definitely wanted to touch base on how the hell July went for all of us, okay? So as always, I'm going to have my intro video, you know, explaining what to look forward to in the reading. All the astrology information for, in general, the planets are going to be in this video, and then in the personal readings, in the next videos, there's a little bit more of personal stuff for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all the signs personally. But as far as the collective, we had a lot going on. So something I want to say immediately here is that Cancer, you know, July is shared by Cancer and Leo. So we're going to be talking a lot about Cancer and Leo energy in the houses that it happens for in your sign. You know, as an Aries or a Taurus or a Gemini, these houses matter. So we go into detail about that. And to me, it's just really interesting, the whole Cancer-Leo cusp that we went through, because this is the moon and the sun. This is the mother and the father energy. This is masculine and feminine. So this whole month was a big giant eclipse because of the moon being ruled by Cancer and Leo being ruled by the sun. So the energy we experienced in July anyways was a huge eclipse. It was the moon becoming the sun, and the sun, you know, becoming the moon. And we even had eclipses in July. We entered the month with a grand water trine, okay, between Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. We had the sun in Cancer, Jupiter was in Scorpio, and Pisces had Neptune. So, you know, the beginning of the month was extremely emotional. I mean, Cancer season was extremely emotionally exhausting, and at the same time, it was very enlightening. So a lot of the things that I've been telling people on my social media is that Cancer season actually awakens the soul, because the sun is where the moon is comfortable. So when the sun is in Cancer, it's an opposite energy, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So awareness, the sun, is basically illuminating our soul. So everyone has a moon sign. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you really want to watch for your moon sign for July. So I know that I'm late telling you this, but all I could keep thinking about in July is how much I was resonating with my moon. So I resonated very strongly with the Taurus reading. So that's just a tip. From now moving forward, you know, you might resonate way more with your moon sign, because the moon has been awakened collectively. So for instance, I have a Taurus moon, and the moon, my shadow side, you know, I'm watching more for the Taurus readings now, because I know that because of Cancer season and because of these eclipses, I resonate more with my moon. So you might want to check out for your moon. Now that it's Leo season, or you know, when you guys watch this, it's going to be Leo season. So now that it's Leo season, you guys might want to watch, you know, the sun. Like, it's going to be, our sun is awakening now, but we have to awaken the soul before we can awaken the body. The sun controls our physical body. So there's been a subconscious soul awakening in Cancer season. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that you guys might want to watch for your moon sign this month if you know your moon. Okay, that's just a little tip. You might want to watch for other tarot readers too. You're going to resonate more with your shadow side. The moon is what we hide. The moon is like what we feel at a soul level. So, you know, back to this energy that we started the month under, we had a grand water trine. So that's why, you know, there was a lot of emotion in July, because the water signs were in a trine in the sky. So a lot of the trinity when it comes to our emotion, very powerful stuff. Not to mention, July is the start of eclipse season. This is when these eclipses started rolling in, right? We had that full moon in Capricorn at the end of June, so we entered July with that energy, but it was very, very overmasked by water. So this is eclipse season, you guys. This is retrograde season, okay? So I want to mention to you real quick here that I'm offering retrograde readings. I am definitely back recording. So if you guys are interested in a personal reading with me, thank you so much to those of you who got personal readings with me and who were patient. You know, I'm not sure if you guys watched my last videos last month, but a lot has been changing with me. I temporarily moved, and I moved back, and I moved back, and I moved back, and I was around a situation that didn't allow me to read tarot, things like that. But some of you still reached out to me, you still donated to my channel, and that just meant the world to me, because this is what I do to financially secure myself as an Earth, Taurus, Capricorn rising. So I just wanted to thank you guys who have gotten readings with me. All my readings are so special, and it just blows my mind that people reach out to me and watch my videos. It's amazing, and it just fills my heart. So I do have retrograde readings going on for $30. This is going to be a special all throughout August. I don't even know if it gets good feedback, then I'll probably do it in July too. But basically, if you want to know what the retrograde season is going to offer you, I'm going to offer these readings to people. $30 for a retrograde reading, and I'm going to look at your chart. And I'm going to discuss all the retrogrades and what they mean and how they're affecting you according to your zodiac sign. And then I'm going to pull a tarot card. So there's about 6 planets retrograde. So for each planet that is retrograde, I will pull a tarot card for advice. So I just thought that was a kind of nice service to offer for retrograde season, because retrogrades are planets moving backwards. It's planets slowing down, changing orbit. Mercury just went retrograde on the 26th, so we can go ahead and chop that off. Mercury retrograde now. It's going to be retrograde until August 13th, I believe. So Mercury, Mars, Saturn, all these planets have gone retrograde, and Jupiter went direct this month though. Jupiter went direct on July 10th. So other than it being retrograde season, guys, for those of you who want to contact me about that, if you're interested in a retrograde reading, please let me know. $30 special. And then, yeah, the next thing there we had going on is Venus. So Venus was in Leo for the first couple weeks of the month, the first week, and then we had Venus enter Virgo. So Venus is Virgo right now. I feel like Venus is going to be in Virgo for a couple more weeks maybe. So Venus is in Virgo on July 9th, Venus entered Virgo. July 10th was when Jupiter went direct. And then on the 13th, that's when we had that Cancer solar eclipse, you guys, and that was opposite Pluto. So we had a 20-degree Cancer eclipse, and then opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, where we had the 20 degrees Pluto. So that eclipses are very powerful. They start new beginnings and endings, even more so than new moons and full moons. So, you know, this was an emotional eclipse. This was like a purifying, cleansing, death and rebirth emotionally. Like, it was very, very powerful. So, you know, it really sucks I wasn't here to talk to you about the Capricorn. I didn't talk about the Gemini new moon, the Capricorn full moon, or the Cancer new moon. So I'm like behind 3 moon cycles, but don't worry, I'm going to be back tomorrow on the 27th talking about the Aquarius full moon, lunar, blood moon, super eclipse. Crazy. I'm definitely going to be here to channel some messages for the Aquarius eclipse, guys, tomorrow. So next is July 22nd is when the sun enters Leo. Whoop, whoop. So we move from this emotional, deep cardinal energy. Like, we all wanted to act from our emotions in Cancer season, but there was not shit that we could do. You know, Cancer season is very interesting. As a Pisces, I understand this water energy, but man, was it emotional, very emotionally draining. Everyone becomes aware of their emotions. Not everybody's aware of their emotions, but when the sun enters Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, everyone becomes aware of their emotion. And when everyone becomes aware of their emotions, we all start acting from a place of emotion, which isn't normal. You know, not all of us act from a place of emotion. We all have water energy in different places in our chart. So Cancer season was pretty crazy because we all wanted to, you know, be a leader emotionally. We all wanted to act out of these emotions because Cancer is the cardinal water sign. Water meaning emotion, cardinal meaning action. So this is emotional action turning into passionate, fixed stability. So Leo comes in at the second half of the month to really revive our ego. You know, we go, I don't know about you, but every year in Cancer season, I kind of forget that it's only a month. I'm like, well, this is it. This is how life is going to be. We're all emotional and it's water, water, water. But then Leo season comes in, and Leo's the North Node right now, guys. So there's stuff about our destiny. There's stuff about our ego and pride and our authentic self-expression that's coming out here. The sun is ruled by Leo. So that's why Leo season is so symbolic, because the sun is right at home. We're going to gain so much awareness over the next month, but I'm going to save a little bit of that information for the Leo video that I do and the August videos that I'm going to have coming out soon, okay? So Leo season is here. Hopefully we feel a little bit less emotional as we go into August. We're still underneath the Cancer cusp of oscillation. So there's Cancer energy, there's Leo energy, there's water energy, there's fire. But when water meets fire, there's an evaporation. So this whole month is very evaporating. You know, a lot of parts of ourselves are just gonna kind of mystify. You know, it's gonna get a little bit steamy, a little bit confusing, but it's all about expressing our emotion. Whenever fire and water join up together, which is Cancer and Leo, this July is shared by fire and water, and then August is shared by earth and fire. So we'll talk more about that in August, but this month was about expressing our emotion. Hopefully we express the way we feel, guys, because the reason why we went through Cancer season was to discover what we felt on a soul level. It was to become cleansed on a maternal level, on a soul awakening level, so that we could step into Leo season knowing the direction forward, knowing our destiny of the North Node, knowing our passion and our drive, you know what I mean? Knowing who we are at a childlike level. Like Leo is all about innocence and becoming a child, but it's also the lion, you know, so it's about being courageous. You know, the things that we weren't brave enough to do at this first half of July, we're all of a sudden gonna gain the passion and drive and will and fire to do. So there's gonna be a lot of things that pick up at the end of July here, and I'm kind of gonna get started on these August videos soon so that I can have these messages out sooner. And then sure enough, we end the month here with the Aquarius total lunar eclipse on July 27th. Now remember, Mercury went retrograde, and this eclipse here, now I'm going to save this for my video tomorrow, but I just want you guys to keep in mind that this eclipse is conjunct Mars in the South Node. So there's going to be a lot of aggressive releasing that goes on collectively. This is some bizarre energy. This is going to be strange to kind of channel, but Aquarius is my 12th house, and I'm definitely going to channel this Uranian, Mars, Saturnian energy. But this eclipse I know is going to be powerful because the eclipse in Cancer a couple weeks ago was so powerful too. This is going to be powerful on a collective level though. Cancer was powerful on an emotional level. This Aquarius lunar eclipse is a blood moon. It's going to be visible for 2 hours for most of us. Just keep, if you guys want to know about those messages, I'm going to have a video coming out tomorrow about that. But you know, that seems to be a bit, that's it for July. These messages are very intense, you guys. So I really hope that you guys are led to watch. I worked very hard trying to get these recorded by the end of the month. And another thing, you know, guys, Cancer is all about the past. So I kept that in mind when I was thinking about, you know, should I do July videos? And I'm like, hell yeah. Because, you know, some of us are going to want to reflect on the month. Like, I just wanted to know what the hell was going on. I just didn't feel right, you know, letting August come in and just starting from August. Like, so I definitely worked really hard to get these recordings out here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and for following me, subscribing, supporting me, even when I took that month-long break. You know, if anything, I realized that this is my passion and that this is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to get messages from the universe and get some kind of guidance, because holy crap, there's so much going on in the universe right now that, you know, the least I can do is try to help people on a spiritual level, because I've got people that aren't even into astrology coming to me saying, hey, you know, what the hell's going on? I'm like, well, eclipse, well, Cancer season. So thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy your readings, and yeah, I will see you again in August. Bye. Hi Gemini, What's going on, guys? Welcome to your very late July videos, but don't worry, we're gonna get the messages out for you. I'm just very happy to be here. So I do feel the need to light a candle for you guys. You know, fire is your opposite energy, so we're definitely gonna light the flame here for you. I know you can't really see it that well, but it's definitely here for you. I did want to light an incense, so I might light I'm gonna light an incense for you guys. I'm running out of incense, but I'm gonna get some more soon. So we've got some divine blessing incense aura going on here for you, Gemini, and incense are very, 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 very helpful for air energy. So we've got the elements fire and air, which is going to be extra important coming into the end of July when we move into a fire season. Anytime we move into a fire season, that is going to, so Aries season, Sagittarius season for sure, because that's your opposite sign. And then we've got Leo season, which is important too, because it's all of those elements are opposite of the air. We've got Gemini opposite fire, we've got Gemini opposite Sagittarius, Aries opposite Libra, and Leo opposite of Aquarius. So yeah, and I've actually been connecting with a lot of Geminis. I went to the club. Yeah, I went to the Pisces went to a club. Yeah, well, I just thought it would be fun. I've been trying to do a little bit more socializing, and I met 2 Geminis at the club, and I've just been meeting a lot of Geminis. I've been connecting. It's like everybody I ask their zodiac sign, they're Geminis. And don't worry, I don't do that thing where, hey, what's your sign? Oh, I'm a Gemini. Oh, you know, like everyone always does that to Gemini. So we're going to hold off on these cards. I am going to be using these for your reading. And as far as the astrology goes, Gemini, I mean, we do have Cancer as your 2nd house. So happy late birthdays to all the Geminis. You guys have officially went through your cosmic downloads. You have went through your cosmic tune-ups and refreshings. Every time the sun passes through your 1st house, you are cosmically, consciously more aware of the cycle that you've just went through. Not only are you a year older, but you're just headed into a new cycle of awareness. Okay, so happy birthday, Gemini. Hopefully, you know, I don't always enjoy Pisces season. As a Pisces, the sun is very illuminating. The sun is very, very, it's like a spotlight. Now, not all of us mind the spotlight, but all I know is on my birthday, I feel a lot of intense energy. I've talked to a lot of people who also feel that, you know, the reason we celebrate our birthday is to distract ourselves from the sun's illumination. Although it is very, very important to illuminate the conscious awareness, but thank goodness for any of those who experienced kind of intense birthdays or intense Gemini season. We have moved into Cancer season, and we are damn near now at the start of Leo season. So, you know, we're headed into the North Node. So as far as astrology goes, Gemini, a lot has passed through you. Mercury passed through you. Venus passed through you. We do have Mercury retrograde at the end of the month. So we've got more retrograde coming. This is retrograde season. We're in retrograde season. We're in eclipse season. So all these things are very important to the intense change that we're going to be going through, okay? I'm sure you've already felt it, but, you know, what I'm trying to say is a lot of this energy has kind of passed through Gemini, into Cancer, into Leo. Some of it has even gained into Virgo. So, yeah, you know, Venus has passed through you. The sun has passed through you. The new moon passed through you, Gemini. So you guys are kind of chilling now. There is no Gemini energy as of right now. So astrology wise, I'm just going to mention the fact that this is your 2nd house of finances and resources and value. And then at the end of the month, moving into Leo season, that's going to be your 3rd house. So Gemini, your 3rd house of communication, which is very important because you are the 3rd house. So you represent this energy, but we all have our 3rd house. So we got Gemini, Cancer, Leo. That's 3 houses away from you. So Leo season is going to be all about your communication, maybe some passionate, spur of the moment, traveling, short distances. Yeah, so we do have a full moon at the end of the month, but I'm going to kind of save all that for the intro. So if you skipped the intro, if you want to know about the astrology going on, you might want to go back and watch the intro when you have some time. I know my videos are pretty long, especially when I talk to the air signs. I get my thoughts across a lot easier, but I always talk, no matter what sign I'm talking to. My videos are just very lengthy. So I will have timestamps below to skip the intro and things like that. And other than that, I will have other videos coming out. I'm really late and behind on a lot of the transits, but keep an eye out for my full moon and Aquarius eclipse video. I might even put a video out for the Cancer eclipse, where I talk a bit about the Gemini new moon and the Capricorn full moon, just to kind of catch myself up. Lots of messages that want to come out. I hated not being able to be in a space or environment that allowed me to do this, but I'm back. I am not at all, what is it? Like, I am not, the universe does not discriminate against me. Is all these changes we're going through, I definitely feel them as a Pisces. So I did some moving around and some adventuring and some learning, and I was uprooted, and a lot of change happening for me as well. Definitely getting ready for that Pisces full moon in a couple months. So yeah, a lot of change, Gemini. And just keep an eye. You guys want to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified about my new videos coming out, because I do plan to do a lot of recording over the next few weeks and catching up, which means I'm also available for personal readings. So if you would like a personal reading with me, please contact me. I do have a retrograde reading special going on where I look into all the retrogrades. There's at least 5 or 6 retrogrades right now, with Mercury joining. We've got Chiron retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde. So, you know, Saturn just went direct, but I will incorporate Saturn retrograde into that. And I will pull a tarot card for advice for each of the retrogrades. Just see what's going on here. Retrogrades are very powerful. So if that appeals to you, if you would like to speak to me on a more personal level, then go ahead and hit the link to my PayPal. And most of my readings are $25 to $35 right now, and they're about an hour long. And the way I do my readings is I pre-record the video, and then I send you a private link to the YouTube video. In the future, I will be doing phone readings, and I will be doing like Skype readings. So that's coming in the future, but it's for now, this is just how I'm doing it. So yeah, not to just kind of babble on at the beginning of your reading, but you know, I would very much like to work with some of the Geminis on a more personal level. This is going to be a general reading for Gemini for July 2018. So before I start the reading, you guys, I would like to just do some shuffling, and your energy is present. So any cards right now, I'm setting the intent that they resonate with July Gemini energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Cross Watchers. You know, so we've got some financial gain showing up. We have the 5 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So that's literally no money and all the money in the world. So what card is staying on the table here? The 5 of Pentacles. So some of you are dealing with poverty, unemployment, you know, and then we have the Sagittarius here. So your opposite energy. There could be a significant Sagittarius energy in your life. We've got the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. So some of you guys could be feeling a little bit financially heartbroken, or just betrayed financially in some way or another. So this is for you, Gemini. Don't worry, keep the faith. If you guys are heartbroken, dealing with third-party situations, dealing with betrayal, just keep the faith alive, especially for that Aquarius full moon, because we do have the Star card. So some of you guys could be dealing with a significant Aquarius, and now look, we had Aquarius with the 3 swords, and now we have Leo with the 3 of swords. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that this has to do with your destiny. This has to do with your karma, because of the North and the South node being in Aquarius and Leo. So definitely some interesting energies going on around work and finances, and maybe some family issues, but you know, that is completing. All right, we just need to rest and heal our hearts, especially to get ready for this Leo portal. Okay, so I'm just going to do this a few more times. I see the 3 of Swords hanging out for you guys a lot. So some of you watching could be dealing with betrayal or heartbreak. And it could be very, very heavy, and it could be very, very burdening the heart. Burdens of the heart is coming up for you, Gemini. So we're just going to do this one more time. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So it's like manifesting your heart's happiness, even if you're feeling betrayed. So we do have that Three of Swords that stuck around the whole time. So that does tell me that some of you guys either are dealing with heartbreak or betrayal, or you just need to do a bit more communicating from your heart about what makes you happy, about what you want. Especially coming into Leo season, you need to really access that Queen of Swords defense mechanism. And then we have the Lovers card, and we did have a significant Aries. So either that's Gemini taking their power back, or Gemini really coming into a strong sense of self, or you could be dealing with an Aries. So we've got the Lovers here, one of my favorite tarot cards. So, but what I'm doing here, Gemini, is I've just been gone for so long that I thought it would be very nice and just good and great to figure out where you guys are right now. So I wanted to shuffle until I found your ruling tarot card. And what we're going to do is we're going to see the energy that you guys have immediately as you're watching this video, right? So we've got the Lovers. I'm going to take a look at the Lovers card and see if I channel anything from that. And then we're going to pull 4 cards off the top of the deck. These 4 cards are going to represent the energy that you feel right now. It's going to be the energy that's backing you up right now whenever you watch this video. It could be a month from now. It could be 2 days from now. It could be 3 weeks from now. But whenever you feel led to watch this video, I shuffled with the intent that the energy that is backing you up show up in the cards. Okay, so we're going to basically figure out where Gemini is in July, where your immediate energy is, and then we're going to start going with the wisdom of the House of Night. I'm going to get 4 cards, and then I'm going to clarify, okay? So the Lovers, Gemini energy. We have this beautiful depiction here of 2 naked people, right? This is kind of like the Devil card, but this is a connection, not an attachment. So the Lovers card to me is definitely, Geminis definitely represent the twin flame vibration. You know, you guys are a dual sign. You guys always get made fun of for having that dark side. I don't know why Pisces and Libra get it better than Gemini. Maybe it's because Pisces is 2 fish and Libra is 2 scales, but Gemini are literally 2 different humans. Like, Gemini definitely takes the cake when it comes to having 2 polar opposites. You've got dark, you've got light, you've got masculine, you've got feminine. So it's definitely about the duality. So there's something here about really balancing the duality of who you are and who you're meant to be. You know, we've got this beautiful Archangel Michael up here at the top. And this is symbolic for the divine intervention. You know, some of you could be dealing with twin flame soulmates. You could be just dealing with certain decisions to make in your love lives, or maybe you're dealing with certain hurdles or distances or just mountains in between you and a lover. But this is very Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? This is very Adam and Eve. And the Lovers does talk about a decision. Some of you may have a decision to make in a love life. Others of you may have some kind of third party situation. But to me, I'm just going to take a look here. I'm very much led to the sun behind you right now. The sun is definitely beaming, and to me that's Leo season. So there could be something that sparks off in Leo season. You could definitely be feeling more of that light. You know, definitely there's certain sides of you that feel knowledgeable. There's other sides of you that are passionate and young spirited. So it's about kind of intertwining the knowledge that you've gained as far as the feminine side of you, and then allowing the masculine part of you to really light a fire for the feminine side of you. So this could apply to a relationship, but since I'm talking to you, Gemini, this could very well just be your own dual energy, okay? So I'm not channeling much from the Lovers card, especially because there's, you know, this is your energy, but for right now, we're just going to go ahead and see what's right behind you. But I do see happiness coming for some of you in your love lives, especially if it's regarding a certain distance between you and a lover. And I just see divine. You know, this could be Venus and Virgo. To me, Venus and Virgo is very divine. It's Venus, it's an angelic love. So we do have angelic love coming up here. Some of you guys are in very divine partnerships with either you or just within yourself. Keep in mind that you are your own twin flame as a Gemini. And you've got certain passionate knowledge to back that up, okay? You guys are the messengers of God, very, very angelic prophet people. Prophetic messengers is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, there's something here about really, really gaining passionate thought. Because I see this angel, she's kind of he or she kind of has fire for hair, you know, and then we've got the sun, and then we've got that tree by the male, and it's very passionate. So there's a part of you this month that feels very knowledgeable and on fire with passion, okay? But let's go ahead and pull these cards, Gemini, and see what's right behind you for the month of July, okay? So what is right behind Gemini? And I thought I caught a glimpse of the moon, and I did mention that I have been very much connecting with Geminis. So there's something up with Pisces and Geminis right now, and it could just be the dual energy. It could just be a mutable sign thing, mutable gang, gang, gang. But we do have two mutable signs here. We have a Pisces and a Gemini. But we also have the moon, okay? So the moon is Cancer, the moon is Pisces. This could be Cancer energy. July was definitely a moon-ridden energy. So I'm going to tell you what I told everyone else this month. If you know your moon sign, please watch for your moon signs. Not only for me, but for other tarot readers that you watch. Please watch your moon sign, because Cancer season is ruled by the moon, right? Cancer is ruled by the moon. So Cancer season every year, I didn't really realize it until this year, but our moons are awakened in Cancer season. Our shadow side, what we hide, our souls are awakened in Cancer season, especially around that new moon in Cancer that we had. Our moon was awakened. So I find that I've been resonating way more with my moon. Actually, as soon as Cancer season started, I became way more Taurian. I became a Taurus, you know, and then Leo season kind of, you know, it brings back the sun's power. So then we can go back to watching our sun sign, but our moon sign is very important for July messages. So if you're still on YouTube watching July videos, I would definitely switch my focus a bit to the moon as well. So if you know your moon sign, please watch your moon sign videos, especially you, Gemini, because we have the moon right behind you. To me, this means that I'm getting a lot of different messages here. This is the first card behind you. So as you're watching this video, you either have a significant Pisces or Cancer in your life, or there's a significant amount of emotion or intuition, or maybe your dreams. The fact that the moon card is here for you, Gemini, you really want to pay attention to the way you feel, the way you are intuitively picking up on things. Gemini is very psychic and intuitive as well, and very magical as a mutable sign. But you don't always get credit for your psychic abilities because you're an air sign. So it looks as if you're just talking, right? But there's a lot more that goes on between a Geminis. Literally, they are intuitive because of their communication skills, okay? So you just speak about everything you feel and you don't get credit for it. So, you know, this is telling me that right behind you, your immediate energy is one of the moon. So you could be very secretive this month, Gemini. You could kind of be holding a lot in. Your soul is coming up here, but also the moon, right? So the Gemini new moon, the Cancer new moon, the Aquarius full moon, eclipse, all these eclipses. We've got eclipses going on here. We've got new moons. Anytime I see the sun and the moon together, it makes me think about new moons and eclipses. So the Cancer new moon was really important to you. It's still very important to you. We're going to be feeling that for the next 6 months. And then this lunar eclipse at the end of the month in Aquarius is important to you because it's in an air sign. So you're going to be feeling this energy very powerfully. So we've definitely got a strong moon energy right behind you, Gemini. So your emotions, your soul, a Pisces, maybe even some secret communication, secret lovers. I always think about secret lovers when I see the lovers in the moon. So some of you guys might be having some secret love affairs, or just secret feelings within your relationships, or secret feelings about a relationship. But we're going to keep on going here just so I get the full story, and then we'll get going with your July reading. But before we do that, I definitely wanted to, you know, see where you were. So Gemini, you're in a very moon-like energy, a very mother energy. Some of you may be mothers, some of you may have a Gemini mother. But we have a very maternal Luna female energy coming up here. So even when it comes to this masculine and feminine side of you, we're leaning more towards the female now because of the moon's energy. And that's telling me that you're leaning more towards the knowledge, the secret knowledge that you have, Gemini. You have a lot of secret knowledge in Gemini, in Cancer season, in July, I should say. Even because this reading is definitely for all of July. So we've got a little bit of Cancer, a little bit of Leo. And you know, it's interesting, the cusp of oscillation, the Cancer, the Leo, it's definitely about female male energy, because we've got the sun, Leo, we've got the moon, Cancer, we've got father, we've got mother. All right, so there's definitely a mother energy coming up here, or just some kind of soul intuitive energy. Pisces, Gemini for sure. And we've got your emotions. We've got 2 mutable signs. So I feel that the Gemini energy is definitely staying true to that adaptation. Gemini is able to adapt very quickly mentally, because you're a mutable air sign. So it's not just that your mind changes a lot, it's that you have the power of mental mutability, right? You have the power to mentally adapt very quickly under the surface. So there's a lot going on under the surface with you this month, Gemini. And you know, you might not be exactly mentally clear on it yet, but there's certain secrets that are going to be revealed to you. There's a path that you're walking. It could be a path with a significant Cancer or Pisces, or it could just be a soul path that you're walking. All right, and I do see something here about secret lovers for a handful of you. So some of you are going to resonate with, wow, yeah, I do have a secret lover. I do have a secret love for a person, place, or thing. So we're going to keep on going here, pull a couple more cards, and then I'm going to kind of look at it as a whole, and we're going to get into the wisdom of the House of Knights. So now we have the 6 of Swords, Gemini. So here's your air energy, but it's interesting, the 6 of Swords. I always think of an emotional energy anyway, because this card has a lot to do with emotion. It's the 6 of Swords. It's someone who's in a boat. So it's interesting that this is your 3rd house of Cancer, because the 3rd house, I'm sorry, it is your 2nd house. The 3rd house is Leo. But Cancer season could have very well sparked some emotions in you, Gemini, to the point where you had to leave certain things behind. Cancer season was very emotional for us all. And I feel like with you, Gemini, in the name of your mental stability, you left a lot behind emotionally. You know, we see these waters here, they're very rocky. And, you know, we've got this person moving away from that. We've got you moving to somewhere that's very more mentally stable, and it's something that's better emotionally. Like there's just a peace, you know, coming up. We're leaving behind chaos and turmoil in order to get to a more peaceful, grounded, sound place that's better for us. So we've got some movement here behind you right now, Gemini, and it's definitely you moving away from emotion. I mean, this card already talks about someone who's leaving behind something it's like you almost regret it in a way, like, man, I really wish I didn't have to move away from this. Like, I'm very emotionally invested in this, but it's just no longer healthy for me. So I've got to make the mental decision. So this is when water meets air. So there's something here about water and air coming together, which can be very misty. It could be very, you know, I mean, that's what I feel is mist. Water and air. All right, and we've got water and air very much on the table for you. Actually, I feel like it's going to be only water and air. So there's something here about intellectually processing emotion in July, and intellectually communicating is what I mean. Because when air meets water, we are forced to communicate the way we feel. That's when our mind meets our feelings, right? The way we feel and the way we think is kind of conjoining. In this card, the way we feel and the way we think might not be on the same page, but we're at least feeling what we feel and moving towards something mentally, right? We've got these 6 swords and a boat. Now, when this card comes up, it really does talk about actually moving across water. So some of you are literally leaving something behind, and you may be flying or boating or driving across water this month, especially when we go to Leo season, when it's your 3rd house of short distance travel. But whatever it is, Gemini, you know, you're going to be rewarded for leaving it behind, because it was very emotionally draining. And it was just, it's like, you know, it wasn't good. It was very rocky, and you're finally getting to your destination. So I do see you leaving behind emotion in this card. And then the way that it sits here, you're leaving behind the moon, right? It's almost like the 8 of Cups. It's like a soul journey. So your soul, your feelings, your very deep feelings, right? We have the King of Cups now. The King of Cups. This is definitely a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. We've got the water signs coming up for you a lot, Gemini. So in July, water signs were really important to you. So if you had a significant Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio influence in your life in July, you didn't know it, but because there was a water trine between Scorpio, Jupiter, Pisces, Neptune, Sun, and Cancer, the water signs were very, very empowered in Cancer season. So We've been sent to, I know in July, I healed certain people, you know. I was called to heal. So the water signs are on a healing mission right now. And I think that's why there's a significant Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in your life in July. You know, you guys might not even be on a good terms with them, but just know they were very significant. I do see a significant amount of Geminis watching that left behind water sign energy. And it might not be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio that you're leaving behind. You might even be leaving behind your own water energy. Some of you may have a Pisces sun, Pisces rising, Pisces moon, Pisces house, you know what I mean? We all have water energy somewhere. So if you're not learning from a person that's a water sign, you're learning from your own water energy, your own emotion, your own intuition, okay? That's what these cups represent. So we have the King of Cups here, and that's your 4 cards, Gemini. I'm only going to pull 4 because Cancer works with the number 4. And so the underlying energy that we have is the 8 of Wands. So we've got some fire, we've got air, we've got water. We don't have any earth. So there could be something here about a missing earth element. It just might be your reality. Finances can kind of be non-existent in July for you, Gemini. You know, it might be your worth, it might be your value. I'm not sure. But we don't have any pentacles, which I think is significant. Okay, this is about your foundation missing. This is about not being grounded, but it's okay because, you know, you're just working on communication and emotion right now. So the underlying energy for you in July, what you're feeling right now as we're talking, is the 8 of Wands, which is very fast movement. It's very quick energy. It's a message coming in. So it could be any of these things. It really depends. But this is focus, right? This is this is 8 arrows being shot in the same direction. So there's something here about a target. Okay, I almost said a target missed. So just be careful not to miss any of your targets this month, Gemini. Make sure you're focusing as an air sign, mentally focusing, emotionally focusing on what it is that you want to succeed in, your accomplishments, the direction you want to go in. Because Cancer season can be a bit all over the place. And you know how it is in water, when you're aiming at something in the water, like when you're fishing, your precision has to get altered a bit. Because you have to aim a bit before the fish. And look at me giving you advice on how to kill my fellow fishy friends. But you know, if those of you who are kind of woke to that, you know, the water distorts measurement. So if you're aiming for something in water, which is aiming for something in Cancer season, right? You have to aim with your emotion. And when you're aiming with your emotion, you have to feel the water, you have to feel the fish. So every great fisherman knows, especially if you're spear fishing, that's kind of the example I'm getting right now. It's very important that you aim a bit before your target. So there's something here about being one step ahead of your enemy, one step ahead of your target, right? So anyway, this is on the table because of a message, because of something quick. So Gemini is moving very quickly right now, and they're moving quickly on a different level. You might not be moving quickly physically or quickly mentally, even though I do see some mental movement here for you. But the first card you had was the moon. So I'm seeing lots here about the shadow side of Gemini. All right. So, and just how my cards are laying right now, the moon is covering up the masculine side of the Gemini. See how the woman is showing, but the moon is in front of the, so your shadow side, you might be hiding a side of you this month, Gemini. It could be the masculine. Don't get me wrong. Every Gemini has, everyone actually, every human has, everything has masculine and feminine energy, right? Everyone has a sun, everyone has a moon, everyone has a Venus, everyone has a Mars. Those are feminine, and everyone had a mother and father that, you know, took part in them being born. Even if you had, like, if you were artificially inseminated, you still had a sperm, masculine, the womb, feminine, okay? So I feel like your masculine side this month is your shadow side. And it doesn't really surprise me, Gemini, because a lot of July was very maternal. Cancer season is all about the past. It's all about the mother. It's all about the home environment. It's all about the feminine energy. So a lot of us have been really forced to pay attention to our dark side. Now, us dual signs can handle this energy a bit better because we can kind of hop between the two, right? But for you, Gemini, I do feel some kind of message here about some kind of masculinity being kind of shadowed this month. So you might be feeling a little bit more feminine than usual in Gemini season. And that's just something I kind of intuitively picked up on. It's kind of interesting there. So I'm definitely getting something here about the shadow side, and definitely leaning more towards the masculine side of Gemini, the male Geminis, and the masculine side of the female Geminis too. So I feel like the way through July had a lot, especially the beginning, or maybe this is you right now. It had a lot to do with really getting in touch with your feminine side, getting in touch with the females in your life, sisters, daughters, mothers, female friends. There's a lot of female empowerment in your reading, Gemini. And I'm also sensing something here about a Pisces, something here about, you know, the mutability of your emotion, or the immutability of emotion. Water can be ice, water can be snow, water can be evaporated. So there is something here about water being ever changing, right? And that's a very important thing to know in Cancer season, because we are changed emotionally in Cancer season so that we can flow right into Leo season. And it's interesting that we have some flow here. It's like there's actually 3 people in this card as well. So some of you, there might be 3 significant people, 2 people in a boat, someone who's actually, this is your masculine side kind of getting you through the feminine. So that's interesting that your shadow side is the masculine this month, but we've got a strong masculine figure. And I always see this person as a female for some reason, even though this person is hidden. So it's like your female side becomes hidden after a long period of time where you're so okay, maybe Cancer season hides the female side of Gemini, and Leo season brings out the masculine side of Gemini. So there was a point in time to really give in to these emotions, to allow the feminine power within you to enlighten. And then, you know, enough of these feelings, it's time for my masculine to take over. So now your masculine side is taking over mentally to get your feminine side through the emotion, right? So that's just one way to interpret this. I do see a set of Geminis that might be, you know, moving to or from a Pisces. It's kind of hard to tell, but I do see some significant moving away from Pisces energy. So there could be some Geminis that are moving away from Pisces or moving with Pisces. Some of you may have a child, you know what I mean? So if you do have a child, then you might be moving with this Pisces and the child. But I just do see that there, Gemini, a lot of secrets. Some of you guys might leave in a secret, because the moon in the set 6 of Swords is definitely about moving in secret. It's like these people took off in the middle of the night or something. Or you might be encouraged to move at the end of the month on the full moon in Aquarius. Some of you guys really might meet a completion in a new beginning. In order to complete or begin something, we have to move, right? So there was a time to be still with our feelings, and then there's a time to, okay, this is enough. Cancer season's almost over, buddy. This is the little bit of Cancer season left over in that card there. So if this moon does symbolize Cancer season for you, then Cancer season really, really awakens some of your emotion, Gemini. And that emotion then, because if there's a way to make an air sign move, it's to make them feel an overwhelming amount of emotion. Because air signs are naturally intellectual people, and it's not the most intellectual thing to do to just sit and feel all the time. So sometimes it makes a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius question their emotion when it's coming at such great capacity, when the water is getting too rocky to handle, okay? So we've got you moving away in secret here. We've got you on a soul journey. So either some of you moved away in secret, some of you have some kind of secret trip you're planning, and it has something to do with water, it has something to do with your feelings. Some of you are doing this at the full moon or the new moon in Aquarius, or new moon in Cancer eclipse, lunar eclipse in Aquarius. The moon just has something to do with your movement this month. And that could be your emotion. You could be moving somewhere based off of your intuition alone, which is why these swords are stabbed into the boat, almost like, this doesn't make the most mental sense, but it does make intuitive sense to my soul. So I do see something here about a soul journey that you're on, Gemini, in Cancer season, and it involves a certain Cancer energy. It does. It might even involve a Leo. I'm not sure. That's just kind of something I'm picturing here. But to be very honest, I'm hearing something about a soul journey. For those of you who don't resonate with leaving a Pisces or something like that, or leaving with a Pisces, because I do see this Pisces might be going with some of you. But I also see a lot of you leaving behind emotional people for your mental sanity this month. You know what I mean? So some of you might be going on a trip with your mother, or a trip to see some kind of feminine energy or something like that. And then we have the King of Cups, which is a really perfect card to come up for someone who is a leader emotionally, right? This is you leading by emotion, Gemini, which is something you're probably not super comfortable with doing. And there is something here, like I got one card that's covering up the male, and then I got another card that just so happens to be covering up the female. So it's like you need to pick and choose when to determine your shadow side, because sometimes it's the masculine energy that's your shadow side, Gemini, and other times it's your female side. So it's gonna be interesting here what you learned in Cancer season and how you apply that to Leo. But we got the King of Cups here, which is definitely someone who's leading. He's an authority of his emotion. He wears his emotion proudly. He doesn't run away from emotional problems, even if he's struggling mentally. You know, he follows his intuition, and he's very nurturing, even for a male, you know what I mean? No offense. But yeah, this is definitely a male water sign coming up here, or just masculine emotion, you know what I mean? So if Gemini's like, okay, if I'm going to be emotional, I'm at least going to have masculine power and authority over my emotions. So okay, I'll be the King of Cups at least. So this is a significant male water sign for some of you, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And like I said, we have water and air here, and then a very fiery message in the Six of Cups. Okay, so there could be a soulmate. It could be a Pisces, could be a Cancer, it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But it doesn't have to be those signs. It could just be someone who's emotional, or someone who's intellectual, someone you left before. You know, you could have left an immature emotional situation to move forward towards a more mature emotional person, place, or thing. But I do see some nostalgia coming up, okay? And it could have been because of something really painful that happened, Gemini. But this is coming very quickly, this soulmate energy, or this nostalgic feeling with your children or the past, right? The Six of Cups is all about emotions from the past. So you guys could have something going on with that. You know, the Six of Swords is standing out to me. So it's like, where is Gemini going? Are they moving away from the past or towards the future, or both? Are you moving away from the future and towards your path, or both? Either way, you're kind of protected in July by the moon's energy, by the mother energy, by Luna. You're in the shadows, Gemini. Like, your shadow side is very empowered in July. So very interesting there. You could even be moving away from your shadow side to obtain a more emotional standing, you know, a more grounded emotional perception of yourself. But I do like that this is an air energy for you. So it's like, this applies directly to Gemini, even if you're doing it in secret. For once, your mind and your emotions needed to line up, or they just kind of played off of each other. They didn't really align. But your mind, what you think and what you felt, or your emotions and your mental, they kind of had to do with this journey. So whenever you're watching this video, Gemini, you guys are on some sort of emotional trip. This doesn't have to be physical movement. Sometimes it's just metaphorical movement. But I do see some movement here. It's like you move away from emotion just to get to a more solid ground of emotion. I mean, because these people are moving away from water and towards water. But the difference is that they're moving away from like chaotic waters to calm waters. So, you know, no offense, but Pisces can be a little bit more chaotic emotionally than, say, a Scorpio or a Cancer. So there could be something there about that. Cancer season, maybe it taught you how to move emotionally while still being that intellectual person. So I definitely see a lot here, Gemini. There could be a secret lover that you're going to meet, or a secret lover that you're, you know, leaving with or moving with, or, you know, I just see some movement here towards or from a secret lover. There could have been a third party. I do see some of you could have had a third party, you know, and you just made the mental decision to leave and decide one of those people. It could have been you chose a water sign over a certain other sign. But I do see a soul journey, Gemini. I see you walking your soul path. And I see you coming out of this more grounded emotionally than ever, to the point where you can kind of wear your emotions, you know. And this is something happening very quickly for Gemini right now. But I guess, even though I feel like there's so much more to this, but the moon's energy always does that to me. No matter how much I analyze or talk about a reading with the moon in it, there's always some sort of element. Like, the moon only shows up in readings that not all the pieces are here. So there's something that you're not seeing all the way, Gemini. And you might want to wait until you're clear about that before you move with this Six of Swords. Whatever this Six of Swords represents for you guys, I know it represents something about emotional movement, you know, and it's also mental movement as well. But like I said, emotions and mental are kind of mixing with you right now. So I definitely see something with that. A lot of different things coming up here, Gemini. But it's ultimately so that you can be, you know, reborn as a stronger emotional figure, okay? So without further ado, we're gonna get your cards going for the month, okay? So let's take a little bit of a shuffling. I just did the Taurus reading, so I definitely want to shuffle the energy out and get you some clear messages, Gemini. We have understanding and strength. So there's something that you need to understand about Leo season. There's something you need to understand about a Leo. There's something you need to understand about a new beginning. There's something you need to understand about an Aries. This is different for all of you. But I do see you understanding fulfillment in a different way. Perhaps that's why the universe taught you all these energies. There's something that some of you need to understand about your emotion. There is something that some of you need to understand about a Pisces or a Cancer. And we also have a reminder here about the moon. So remember to don't forget your emotions. Even if they're complicated, don't forget. Okay, so that's enough shuffling there. Let's see what stayed on the table. We've got belonging and reminder. So don't forget where you belong. This is kind of a message that Taurus got. So if you have Taurus energy, or if you're, you know, dealing with a Taurus, then yeah, you might want to watch the Taurus video. But don't forget where you belong, Gemini. A lot of us have been figuring, you know, Cancer season allows us to really determine where our roots are collectively. So if any of us go into Leo season not knowing where we stand, it's not the universe's fault. It's most likely our fault for not allowing the universe to shift and turn the way that it so naturally is supposed to. So, all right, Gemini, I did some talking, but we did have the fledgling come out. So July, this is the symbolic for kind of the first week of July, and then we're going to pull another card here and two down here. So the first two cards are kind of the first 2 weeks. The last two cards are kind of the second half ending to July, okay? So we did have the fledgling, and I'm pretty sure we had the oath card or high priest. I just fucked that up. So I don't really know the underlying energy of this fledgling because I just kind of kept shuffling. But this does tell me that there was a new beginning that you entered the month with. So this could have happened at the end of June. Maybe this was a birthday new beginning, or a new cosmic conscious new beginning, a birthday present. You know, your birthdays could have started, I mean, it does start a new beginning for you. It's definitely a new cycle whenever we have our, our solar returns. But yeah, this is the fledgling. This is the Fool in tarot. So this could be a significant Aries that you entered July with, but I really am leading more towards the fact that July was kind of a new fresh start for Gemini. You entered July with a new mindset, or like some kind of new journey, and it could have been spiritual, it could have been in a relationship. But let's keep going. Let's see the second week of July for Gemini 2018, Sun, Moon, Rising, mutable air energy. Let's see the card for Gemini. What's another card for Gemini? Symbolic for the second week of July 2018. Second week of July 2018 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the message for Gemini? The second card for Gemini. And we have conclusion. So definitely, first couple weeks of July were definitely about new beginnings and endings. We have chapter 1 and the end. And look what we have here. We have the High Priestess of Air at the bottom of the deck, confirming why conclusion is on the table. So this could be happening in your lifestyle, since it's the 6 up there, the 6th house of lifestyle. So this could be like your mental, how you mentally process the lifestyle you live, certain endings to ways you live, and certain new beginnings to the way you live. I mean, I love that we have the fledgling and conclusion, because that directly tells me that Gemini has started something new in July, and they've also, you know, obviously ended some things because of that. And it's because of them directly. It's because of communication. It's because of their mind. It's because of a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air energy. It's about their mental space. So this new beginning, because if you're a Gemini watching and you're like, what is she talking about? I didn't start any new beginnings. Well, just make sure that these beginnings didn't happen spiritually, because we did have the High Priestess of Spirit. So the new beginning was spiritual, and it could have been a spiritual relationship, or a spiritual relationship with the divine. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a spiritual relationship with you and God, or you and the universe, or whatever. And then the conclusion happened because of the High Priestess of Air. So that tells me that there was a new spiritual beginning. And the thing about spiritual beginnings is that they don't really matter to physical, right? The physical, we might stay the same physically, but spiritually we could be completely different, right? So there's a new spiritual beginning, and because of that, there was an ending and a chapter conclusion to the mental, all right? And you may even have some choices between a new spiritual beginning and the ending to something mental, because sometimes you can't get something for nothing. So sometimes we have to choose between starting something spiritually and sacrificing our mental. Remember, we had the Six of Swords, and I did kind of channel there that there was some sort of something you had to leave behind emotionally in order to get something mentally. So that's kind of being reiterated here. So let's move into the second half of the month. This is kind of the present moment. So let's see how Gemini ends July 2018. What is the third card for Gemini reading July 2018? What can you tell Gemini? Just one card, please, if you can, Spirit, or two. Just one or two cards. What does the second half of July 2018 look like for Gemini? And then we're going to clarify all these cards as well. All right, we have love. What I tell you, new beginning in love. Definitely some completions and new beginnings in love with your heart, Gemini. I do remember the June reading for you and love coming up there. And you know what? The reason why love is on the table, underlying energy, letting go. 22. So some of you might have needed to let go of the emotional foundation you had with a certain lover. This could be loving yourself, but some of you are letting go of love to start a new beginning. But we definitely have a completion here in the love life. So sometimes in order to begin or to start holding on to something new, we have to let go of something old, right? So we've got a lot of dual energy coming up for you, Gemini. The emotion, the mental, the leaving, the going, the coming, the going, you know, the masculine, the feminine, the letting go, the holding on. But this is literally transformation. You know what I'm saying? We can't hold on to caterpillars if we want to let go of butterflies. You see what I mean? So I definitely see that there was some sort of something that, well, this is happening, and it's going to be successful too. I do see the success card. So you're going to successfully let something go at the end of the month, and it has something to do with your heart. It has something to do with love. Remember, we did have that Three of Swords for some of you as I was shuffling earlier. So there's something here about the condition of your heart, and good guy, good girl, good boy, like good Gemini for going into the second half of July, focusing on your heart and your love and your heart chakra, your heart space. Because Leo is all about the heart, okay? So there's a new beginning of love in July for you guys. Now let's see here. Now you are going to have to let something go, okay? So let's see the last card for Gemini. Give me one more card that's symbolic for how they end July. What is a card to symbolize how Gemini ends July? And we had one pop out. It's clear as day, and we have loyalty. And, you know, I want you to take a look there at those sunflowers, because that is definitely Leo season. Sunflowers rule Leo. So we definitely got some butterflies going on here. So you let something go, and it's like one of those butterflies stayed loyal to you, though, because there's still one butterfly there. Remember that hand that had all the butterflies letting go? So loyalty will always remain. Bottom of the deck for your whole entire reading is the High Priestess of Earth. So there is an underlying energy of a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, or of your physical health, or of your physical environment. There's an underlying energy here of getting out in nature. and we have differences. Okay, so the underlying energy does have a lot to do with polar opposites, right? I already said that there's some light and dark going on. So it's about understanding the differences between your mind and your emotions, Gemini, understanding the differences between the two twins that you have, masculine, feminine, you know, light and dark, things like that. But ultimately, it's about being grounded, and we have that number 3 up there. So this is about you, Gemini. Now, some of you could very well be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or you may have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, but we'll get back to that High Priestess of Earth towards the end of the reading when we have another underlying energy to kind of go off of. But for now, let's just see what's going on here with this fledgling. We're going to clarify the fledgling. But Gemini, okay, the Ten of Swords came out. All right, so this could have been a very painful new beginning. Now, bottom of the deck for the reason why the Ten of Swords came out is the King of Pentacles. So some of you could definitely be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, that there are some painful endings, you know what I mean? And you're an air sign, so this is your energy, this is your pain, this is a painful completion, mental, right? This might not even be physical pain, it's mental pain. And it is a completion. The next card after this would be the Ace of Swords, so you're almost at your truth again, you know what I mean? Like, it's been a long road, the truth gets distorted sometimes, we wind up living lies, even as air signs, but don't worry, you are going to find your truth at the light of day. And it's because of this earth energy. We got the High Priestess of Earth, now we have the King of Pentacles. So if it's not a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or very earthy, logical person that has hurt you, it doesn't have to be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It could be someone who's very emotionally cold, or someone who's just kind of more focused on finances or reality or logic, doesn't express their emotions to you a lot, just worried about they work a lot, they don't spend time with you, something like that. Or if you're not dealing with anything like that, there is a significant amount of Geminis who are dealing with love, with earth signs and money and stuff like that. But that's what I was going to say, is if you're not dealing with an earth sign person or earth energy, which, I mean, come on, Gemini, in some way or another you're dealing with earth energy, even if it's simply your environment or your physical, you know, environment. Others of you who don't apply to that, though, this is pain in your finances. We did see the Five of Pentacles. So for the other Geminis that don't relate to the heartbreak with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, then what you're dealing with is a very painful ending in your finances. Like, some of you are ending a job and maybe looking at being unemployed for a significant amount of time, and secretly you're kind of feeling emasculated because of that. You're feeling like, oh, you know, I can't support my family, you know, now I'm gonna have to have my hand out. The King of Pentacles, so this is a King of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, is what I'm saying. So what I have to think about here is what could cause the King of Pentacles to feel pain. Well, not having a job, or not having a home, or not starting a new financial beginning, or not making enough money, or not being there for his family. So for some of you, you're just going through pain in a very earthly way. It's a very logical pain. So you could be dealing with betrayal in the finances, or you could just be feeling a little bit of pain, that the fact that you had to quit a job, or maybe you're just going through a little bit of financial struggles, and, you know, it depends. But the Ten of Swords did come out for the fledgling, and it is because of the King of Pentacles. So let's keep on going, and we're going to see what this conclusion is about, which I love to see. We've got 3 tens here. Well, we have Ten of Swords right above the love, which is the number 10. And then we have conclusion here, which is also a number 10. So we do have that full moon coming up here. So this Ten of Swords could definitely have to do with that full moon in Aquarius at the end of the month, even though this is the first half. You know, maybe you're just getting through some of those completions ahead of time, because this is symbolic for the end of the month. So you started July with a painful new beginning, I see. And then we have the Hanged Man for the conclusion, okay? So this is interesting. We have another Pisces coming up here. And at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Six of Cups again. And I did see a brief glimpse of the Two of Swords. So some of you guys might be kind of confused about what to do about this Pisces energy, or about this person who's a straight up illusion. You guys might be dealing with certain illusions. Maybe you have to look at, you're being asked to look at a conclusion in a different way. You know, it's not as painful as you thought. It has something to do with nostalgia. It has something to do with emotions from the past, right? So, all right, Six of Cups, soulmate. Some of you do have a Pisces as a soulmate. I do know some Gemini Pisces couples, so, you know, that's going to apply to some of you out there. But just bear with me here. We're going to get the rest of your cards. So why is love on the table for Gemini? Why is love on the table for Gemini? Okay, I think I just got the last two cards, but I'm not exactly sure. So you know what? I said love. So what came out is Temperance, your opposite sign, 7th house of relationships, and the 8 of Swords. So we're going to leave that here. I'm already catching something here. The reason why Temperance and the 8 of Swords came out is because of the Page of Swords. All right. So you may have a significant Sagittarius spying on you. If it's not a Sagittarius, then it's definitely someone that you're in a relationship with, because Sagittarius represents relationships for Gemini. And you might just need to be patient with love. You might need to be patient in a situation where you feel mentally trapped. This is really resonating with the Taurus reading. They had some Sagittarius energy, 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords energy. So you might want to watch the Taurus video, especially if you have Taurus energy or if you're dealing with a Taurus. And they also have the Page of Swords, someone spying on them. So all of us are doing a little bit of spying on everyone. This month is kind of creepy. We have the 6 of Cups, Gemini. So there's a soulmate that either you're spying on or they're spying on you. And it might not be a soulmate. It's like someone, some kind of emotional situation from the past is like, there's someone from an emotional situation from your past that is spying on you now. But it's a soulmate energy. It's a past lover, something like that, okay? So Page of Swords is not only a spying person. The real meaning of the Page of Swords is a message, right? This is some kind of message that might be coming in at the end of the month from a Sagittarius. It might be a message that you need to be patient with. It doesn't have to be a Sagittarius, because Sagittarius does mean patience. So you feel pretty stuck here and you're trying to stay patient. You could be feeling stuck in a relationship, but there's some kind of message that either caused this or that will help this. I'm not sure if this is the cause or cure. But this is why the 8 of Swords and the Temperance is on the table. So some of you need to hear that you need to be patient for a message at the end of the month. Some of you need to stay patient even though you feel mental anxiety, you feel mentally trapped. Well, there's this Page of Swords that is on the way to cut these swords. They're going to cut the binds off of you. They're going to cut the blindfold off of you, and you're going to finally be able to see, right? So a lot of different messages here. I feel that some of you are being spied on by a soulmate or by a past lover. But you feel stuck with the person you're with now. You know, you feel stuck mentally where you're at now for some reason. But there is a message coming in that's going to free you and give you balance, okay? So let's see what loyalty is about and what the end of the month is for you, Gemini. So give me a card for loyalty, please. Why is loyalty here on the table? And we do have a double 3, 33. So we have 3 3s. Actually, I take that back. We have 4 3s in your reading. So, oh wow. And as I fucking say that, the 3 of Cups, oh my God. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Now I'm going to break this down real quick because we have the High Priestess. Wow. And underneath her, we have the 21, which is another 3, Gemini. 3, 3, 3, 3. I might just name your video 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, continued. Like lots of 3s. So there could definitely be a significant earth sign energy that you guys need to apologize to, or maybe an apology comes from a significant earth sign this month. Or the Grove also doesn't only mean an apology, it means healing. So if you're not healing with an earth sign or from an earth sign or with an earth sign, then you're just healing your physical body, all right? You're becoming more confident about you, you know, after a very painful situation. Because some of you Geminis watching are going through a lot of pain. I see a lot of swords. I don't like to see that, okay? But I see some of you guys are going to be healing your physical bodies. Some of you are going to be healing with earth signs or from an earth sign energy. But we'll get back to that. I just wanted to show you that there's a 3 there. And we have a 12 here, which is 1 plus 2. That's a 3, right? Now, we also have 33, 3. So this is 3, 3, 3. 33 and 3 on top of that. And then 3 here. So lots of 3s, and so I'm going to go ahead and say that there is a group of you that are dealing with third party. And I did mention that at the beginning of your video with the lovers, that some of you are definitely choosing between 2 different people this month, or you're just at a crossroads. It doesn't have to be 3 different people. It could be you, a child, and the child's mother, or you, a child's father and the child, you, your significant other, and a pet. It could be you, distance in a person, you, your feelings in a person. So there's just three major elements here that you need to figure out as far as this heartbreak, as far as this celebration or this third party, as far as this earth sign and this healing. It's like a trinity. There's so much trinity going on with you, Gemini. And I feel great talking to you about that because you are the third house. So I'm not going to freak out about all these threes because I think it's powerful. I'm not feeling any negative energy from the threes, but I do feel like there's about 10 of you that are going to watch this video that are going to resonate with third party. So you could have found out someone was cheating on you, or you could have cheated on someone, or you could be leaving a ex for a new lover, you know, something. But let's get going and see. Let's break this month down. Okay, we'll start from the beginning a little bit, which is literally the beginning. So this is a really good card to get for your first card because it's literally the number 1. So this does let me know that there was some kind of new beginning for Gemini in July. It could have been because your birthday is just closed out, because the sun just passed over you. So definitely a new beginning here. The fledgling is all about, you know, taking a risk. It's like the Fool card. Taking a jump, taking a risk. For very few of you, it could have to do with an Aries. It could have to do with an ending with an Aries or something like that. Or just a painful ending because of this new beginning. Like, it does talk about a painful beginning. Because we had the Ten of Swords clarifying that. So I know that it was very mentally exhausting for you guys to get to the point of this new beginning. Like, July was very much in very many ways a new beginning, right? Painful ending, beautiful beginning. I'm seeing a painful ending and a beautiful beginning. Like, it didn't cost, it wasn't free to get here. Like, you put in a lot of mental work to get here. And it's like something had to really end and complete mentally for you to start this new beginning in July. Now, it could have had to do with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of you could be dealing with a fellow air sign. I don't know. I'm just seeing that a painful ending has some sort of correspondence to a new beginning. And see how that lady is looking back at those swords? You can see it in her face. She's like looking back at these swords like, man, I'm really glad that's over and I can just kind of start new now, you know. So there's something there with that kind of energy in July. So hopefully you guys know we literally have a number 10 and a number 1, because the 10 of Swords and then the number 1. So, you know, when an air sign goes through a mental completion, they do start a new beginning. So we do have, you know, you entering July, and yes, in a great deal of pain, but this is a perfect reading to portray how the 10 of Swords is not bad. You know, once this is the worst it gets. I mean, this is betrayal. We have 2 betrayal cards on the table. I do not like to see the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords. That is pretty interesting. Okay, Gemini, pardon me 1 second. My dog, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys, but yeah, we were definitely talking about the fledgling and the 10 of Swords and how, you know, painful completions, but new beginnings. So yeah, it's kind of interesting there. Very dual, I would say very dual of you to happen to Gemini for this very painful completion, and then to have it on the fledgling with a new beginning. So it's like all the pain from this year so far, and possibly even all of June, there's an ending and then there's a new beginning. Okay, so the reason why the fledgling is on the table is because of the 10 of Swords. So the reason why this new beginning needed to start is because the past was too painful. And it's always nice to start fresh and new. So that's what the fledgling is about. And she was kind of looking back at that pain like, I'm really glad that's over. And now I can start this new journey. Okay, so the July, I'm not sure if you guys felt that coming into July, but it was definitely there available for you in the collective. And so moving on to the second week of July, we had a conclusion. So here's another reiterated ending and beginning, right? We literally have chapter 1 and the end. So to me, July was definitely a month of conclusion for you, Gemini. It was definitely a month of new beginnings and endings, you know, and that is so fitting because we have these new moons and full moons, and now we have eclipse season, but we've got retrograde. So it is about looking back on the past. Cancer is all about the past. So the first couple weeks of July could have been very, you know, it's really interesting how I'm going to go back to holding this card just like how I was. It's really interesting when we start a new beginning, we often look back at the pain from our past. And that's exactly what this fledgling is doing. You know, it's interesting, her chest. I always notice like her chest is like embers. Like there's like embers in her chest if you see that. So there's still pain and fire and passion in her heart. But she's looking back at the pain that she has felt. So don't worry, you know, if you don't feel like there's a very new beginning, because sometimes before we close the book entirely, you know, you ever done that where you just go back and look at a certain part of your favorite book or something like that, you know, or there'll be a seat sometimes in TV shows that we watch, there'll be flashbacks, right? Sometimes it's important to remind ourselves of how this story actually unfolded. But either way, there is a chapter that is over for you, Gemini. This is a very karmic cycle. I mean, what do you expect? Your birthday's just passed. So this is definitely about communicating and writing a new story, communicating the end, and literally speaking your truth about, you know, a new beginning. Like, what has ended for you? What has concluded for you, Gemini? Because we've got an ending, we've got two endings and a beginning. And then we have the Hanged Man. I'm very sorry about my dog. But we have the Hanged Man. Stop. We have the Hanged Man here. So it's like, you might have needed to be a bit, there is patience coming up here for you twice. We have Pisces, Sagittarius, and, you know, we're missing Virgo. We didn't have any Hermit show up. But we do have Pisces coming up. Pisces came up for you twice. This is the Neptune retrograde. So Neptune retrograde in Pisces, which is happening right now, could very well have something to do with this conclusion, with this chapter. So, you know, this could have been a series of, oh, is it over? Not quite yet. Oh, is it over? Like, I feel like the build up to a story of a climax, and then finally, you know, like the ending was really there. You know, you ever watch those movies where it's like, oh, it's the end. Psych, there's a little snip away in the credits. You know what I mean? Like, so there was something that, there's something in your life, Gemini, that you legit thought was over. Like, the credits played, the songs played, and then boop, you know, the story wasn't actually over. So there was a need here to be kind of patient, and you might have even been a bit uncomfortable, because this is talking about being uncomfortable but being patient, even though the Hanged Man is actually not uncomfortable. He's very comfortable where he's suspended at, and he's patient, and he's gaining enlightenment, and he's seeing something in a different way. So the main message here is seeing the ending to something in a different way. You know, if we focus on the end, it's really sad. But if we focus on the beginning, because for every door closed is another door open, right? So if we focus on the beginning, it's very enlightening. You have to see an ending in a new way, which is basically seeing, oh, this isn't an ending, this is a beginning. And so there's something here about being patient while you're uncomfortable. Okay, because this is another combination of cards that say, hey, Gemini, you need to be patient while you're uncomfortable. And there's even a hint of enlightenment here with this sun in the background there. So definitely about seeing this conclusion in a different way, seeing a Pisces in a different way, seeing patience, and, you know, this is definitely seeing it from a different angle. So, you know, there's maybe at first, you going into July, you were like, man, this sucks. Like, this is so painful. Even though I have this, that, even though this is such a new beginning, this is so painful. And then you're like, you know, but it's really the end though. And I'm just starting to see this in a different way. I'm starting to see why all this had to happen. I'm starting to see this from an enlightened perspective. The Hanged Man definitely gains enlightenment by looking at things in another way. So by mid-July, you started to see these endings. You started to see your pain in a different way. Like, this new beginning could have been painful for you. You know, like, it's very weird how life works sometimes. Sometimes it's very, very hard to start over, to start new, to leave pain behind. As interesting as that sounds. But then we just see it from a different angle, and we're able to actually finally close that chapter out. You know what I mean? So coming into the second half of June, we've got love, another completion card. We've got two tens here, and they're right beneath each other. So there is some sort of painful ending with the heart this month, Gemini, with love. But this card talks all about offering your heart again, even though you've been hurt. So for those of you Geminis that are dealing with heartbreak, which I know from my cards that some of you definitely are, you know, this ending and this new beginning had a lot to do with you giving your heart to someone new. So I do sense that some of you started a new beginning, but it did cost, you know, a lover or a person, place, or thing. It could be with a job, could be with a home environment, but then you started to really close that chapter and look at it a different way. And then look, love comes in, right? The heart. This is Leo season. The second half of the month is going to be very Leo, heart ruled. So there's some sort of new beginning and ending here. this has to do with your heart's fulfillment, you know, with a new beginning of your heart. So, you know, make sure that you're offering your heart, Gemini, even if you feel, you know, a little bit trapped mentally, or maybe there's something that you're not quite seeing. You know, it's interesting that you started to see something from a different way. But as far as love, some of you are completely blinding yourself to love. Some of you feel very trapped with a Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign. You know what I mean? Some of you are definitely feeling stuck where you are, but this is about being patient. You know, being patient for your clarity, being patient to be able to move again. But, you know, definitely freeing yourself mentally from the prison, because you've got 8 swords, 10 swords, that's the 18 of swords, plus 3 more. So there's 10 swords in your back, there's 8 swords surrounding you, and there's 3 swords in your heart. That's way too much air energy, even for you, Gemini. And, you know, I'm not sure if this has anything to do with feeling trapped with a Sagittarius, or feeling trapped and it's trying to stay patient while you're trapped. But there is a need here to balance, you know, and the Temperance card is a Sagittarius. So maybe there's something you can learn from here, because Sagittarius is all about higher learning. So there's something you can learn from your heart right now. There's something you can learn from the love in your life, whether it be family, friends, whatever. So be patient wherever you are at the end of the month, Gemini, even if you're uncomfortable, you know, because it's going to get better. It's going to get better, and you need to be very patient in this position. You know, the 8 of Swords, it might not be what the typical 8 of Swords represents. It could just be you surrounded by thoughts, and you know, temporarily not being able to move or see something. And it's because it's a lesson of patience. I'm feeling very patient with this, and I am feeling like some of you straight up have a Sagittarius lover. Now, if you don't have a Sagittarius lover, that's okay, because Sagittarius represents 7th house relationship for Gemini. So you guys, some of you are feeling very trapped in the relationships you're in. And you're losing patience, and you're losing the mental, yeah, because patience is a very mental thing. And it's hard to stay patient when you can't move, and you can't see, and you can't think, and you can't feel. So yeah, some of you, it's not a Sagittarius, it's about staying patient in your relationships at the end of this month. Even though you feel very mentally imprisoned in this relationship, stay patient, because there is some sort of loyalty coming up, and there is some sort of 3. I mean, we have 3 threes here. We have the 33, so this is 6 technically. So this has to do with a lifestyle. This could be a Leo. This could be, I don't know, Gemini, but you end the month on a note of loyalty. So maybe this love situation, all this, somebody was loyal to you throughout this whole situation. And so maybe you move into Leo season really loving them, you know, or maybe loyalty is just coming up here because maybe someone wasn't loyal to you. You know, maybe you were imprisoned for a little bit and someone wasn't loyal to you. They weren't patient with you, because this doesn't have to be just your energy, Gemini. This could be someone else's energy, not being patient with you. You know, not being balanced and fair with you. Not learning more about you and what's going on with you. And so I'm not sure if this is you feeling imprisoned or if this is someone else. But you know what I do notice here is that with the 8 of Swords, we've got a woman here. She's imprisoned mentally because she's not putting her feet in the water, right? She's purposely placing her feet outside of the water. She wants to ignore the way that she feels in her relationships right now, even though her heart is telling her, hey, you are trapped. Your heart feels trapped in this relationship. You need to see this. You need to feel this. She's like, no, I'm just going to overthink about it and just stay right here for a while because I can't do anything. I can't see. But this is toilet paper. I always see this as toilet paper wrapped around her, and it's like toilet paper is so easy to break, you know what I mean? Not to say that mental prisons aren't tough, because it definitely is for an air sign. But anyway, it's all about putting your feet in the water, Gemini. Balancing your emotions and logic. Remember, it's about what you think and feel this month. Gemini needs to master their feelings and their mental thoughts. And feelings are going to be a bit more challenging, but look, one foot is in the water. So maybe you need to test the waters with someone new instead of feeling or staying in a relationship where you feel trapped. Now, please use your own intuition, because there's about 4 different messages there. Some of you just need to stay patient with a lover because you feel trapped. Some of you need to stay patient in a very uncomfortable situation. Some of you feel trapped with a Sagittarius or in the relationship you're in. So please, you know, follow your own intuition with these messages. But I am seeing something here about if you feel trapped where you are in the relationship you're in, try something new. It's ending. There's a new beginning in July for you anyway, and it's very painful. So you might as well just conclude this chapter, see it from a different perspective, and test the waters. This is about testing the waters. There's a part of you, mentally, you don't want to test the waters. But alchemy-wise, relationship-wise, you do. So that's very interesting. And we have you celebrating loyalty towards the end of the month, because you might have left behind a fucking cheating, lying piece of shit for someone who's very actually loyal to you. Maybe you guys have some loyal friends. Maybe you're going to be celebrating loyalty at the end of the month, or maybe stepping into Leo season, you know way more about loyalty. Now, some of you Geminis could be the unfaithful Gemini. I do know some Geminis who are openly unfaithful, you know, to some of their partners, you know what I mean? So there could be something here about not wanting to offer a heart, you know, but I see loyalty and love. So there's some kind of loyalty and love coming at the end of the month, and some kind of new beginning and conclusion at the beginning of the month. But you end the month maybe drinking a little bit, you know, celebrating with your friends, but just be careful that this isn't a third party, okay? Because it's like, this is too different of a message. Like, are you loyal, or is there a third party? Some of you guys are going to be leaving third party situations to be, you know, you're going to be concluding your player ways, you know, so that you're being more loyal. Now, I don't want you to take a look at this woman, because for some of you, there could be a blonde woman in your life. I see a brunette. Some of you guys are leaving a brunette for a blonde, you know, but be careful, because I see a brunette and a redhead here. So some of y'all with a blonde and brunette, and you know, so this brunette and this blonde, they could even have something to do with each other, or you know, they could just be real close to home or something, because I do see a brunette and a blonde. I'm seeing a lot of blonde women here. So for someone that's going to speak to, I see an ending with someone with brown hair and a beginning with someone with blonde hair. But that's only going to be for some of you. But just keep in mind, we do have the Three of Swords. So you're really working towards healing from a heartbreak. And I see some of you straight up heartbroken because of an earth sign. Okay? And there's way too many threes in this reading. So just be very mindful that you're using these threes as a powerful trinity and not a betraying third party situation, because we got the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords, you know, 3 there. So communicate, Gemini. The way out of this is patient communication, communicating about your heart and, you know, the loyalty you need moving forward, and what's ended for you. Communicating about the new way you're seeing things, the new enlightenment you've had because of your birthday, you know, Neptune retrograde causing a conclusion for you, communicating patiently about the new beginnings. But we do have 2 cards of betrayal. Some of you are trapped, you know what I mean? So it's going to depend on the Gemini, but I'm going to leave this reading here. Hopefully this was some sort of help. You know, I do know that there's an underlying energy of betrayal and hurt, and we've got some hurtful cards on the table, Gemini, but it's all about your reality. You know, it's all about staying grounded. There could be potentially a helpful earth sign that helps you heal this month. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn could definitely help you stay grounded, you know, and then also communicate from your heart about what you really want, Gemini. We've got 2 depictions of a heart. So it's like, offer your heart, even if there's 3 swords in it, okay? Even if your heart is broken, even if your heart has been betrayed. In Leo season, it's all about the heart's power. Even a broken heart is beautiful. So even if you feel betrayed, you know, it's about seeing that pain and that betrayal from a different perspective, so that you can gain enlightenment and patience and balance, and you can celebrate loyalty for what it means. Sometimes we learn about loyalty through our lies, through our betrayals, you know. So it takes opposite energies. You should understand this, Gemini. So your video is a bit long, but that's okay. Your message was very powerful. So I'm going to leave it here, Gemini. Please look at some of the new services I'm offering if you're interested in the retrograde reading. $35. I'm going to talk to you about all the retrogrades. If you want to speak to me in a more, this is something I would really suggest getting a personal reading about. We can look right into this Ten of Swords. We can look into this Three of Swords. If you're suspecting a third party, this is something you want to reach out to me about, so I can really look into your specific situation, okay? Because there's so many people that watch these videos. So thank you so much, Gemini, for tuning in for your July reading. Hopefully it was worth the wait. and hopefully it provided clarity. I can see that you guys definitely need some clarity towards the end of the month, so I'm happy I was able to speak with you. And other than that, I will talk to you guys for the Aquarius full moon eclipse at the end of the month, and then I will talk to you in August. Bye.